What's going on, everybody? Stars 10P Aviation here, and I'm back with another Salem-Evergreen International Airport update for the month of August 2025. There's so much that's new, some expansions over at the B gates, a giant A gates expansion that almost doubles the capacity of the A gates, international aircraft, so that's right, wide-body international flights have arrived at Salem. And also, we have a new parking garage and some other interesting new parts of the airport that we are going to be covering today. So without further ado, let's get started at the terminal. Parked back here at gate A1, we have this Alaska Airlines Embraer 175, operated by Horizon Air in the Horizon Air retro livery. This aircraft had previously made the inbound flight from San Diego, California, and will be heading out to, let's say here, it will be heading out to San Francisco, California shortly. Parked here at gate A2, we have this Alaska Airlines Embraer 175, this time operated by SkyWest. It will be operating the flight out to Portland, Oregon today, a very, very short flight, but one that is still necessary with all the traffic. It still takes about 2 hours to make that drive anyways, so this really does shorten the amount of travel time here. It's very important for business travelers. So it is operating the twice daily Portland flight, and it will be a round trip. So this aircraft is not going anywhere else. So it previously came in from Portland and will be heading back out there. Pushing back here, we have this Alaska Airlines Boeing 737-900 in the UNCF livery. This aircraft is pushing back out for the flight to Seattle, Washington today. It had previously arrived in from the second Seattle airport of Seattle North, which is a fictional airport that I also do airport updates on. So it is heading out to Seattle Tacoma after its previous flight in from Seattle North. With no aircraft parked at gate 4, we have the Air Wisconsin, or not Air Wisconsin here, but the United Express CRJ 200 operated by Air Wisconsin. This aircraft is currently heading out to, it's heading out to Billings, Montana after a previous flight in from Redding, California. Now the reason these regional routes are being covered is because Salem-Evergreen has gained a new status from United and Delta. It is now a Delta and United focused city, which means they are operating both international and domestic flights and regional flights out of this airport. So it is a focus city for United and Delta right now, which is very nice to see. So you're going to be seeing a lot more United Express and a lot more United at the airport right now. In fact, they might even be getting an entire dedicated concourse with how big their operations are. They can't just have the entire half of the A concourse that needs to be shared with other airlines as more airlines begin to serve the airport. Moving on to gate A7 with no aircraft at gate A6, we have this United Express CRJ 200 operated by SkyWest in the SkyWest House colors. This aircraft is currently on the round trip this time out to the lovely city of, let's put it at Bellingham, Washington. It will be departing pretty shortly as it is loading passengers through the ground access jet bridge. Parked here at gate 8, we have the United Airlines Boeing 737-700. This aircraft is currently making the flight out to Houston, and it will be departing in around half an hour. It had previously arrived in from Chicago O'Hare. Both of these routes now are mainstays at the airport. Every United hub is served by United with mainline flights now, which is very nice to see. And here we have the United Boeing 737 MAX 8 in the Being United or United Together livery. Sorry for that, everybody. Anyhow, this aircraft is making the flight out to San Francisco, California after its previous flight in from Washington Dulles International Airport in Washington, D.C. And with no aircraft at gate 10, we move on to the brand new A-Gates expansion, which will house some United domestic operations, all United internet, and not all United, but all international airline operations from any airline will be centered from these gates right here for now. However, when the C gate and B gate expansion arrives, you can see low-cost carriers having international flights from their gates at the C gates. So without further ado, let's get right into the A gate expansion. Just arrived in here at gate 11, and the jet bridge hasn't even been connected yet here. We have this United Airlines Airbus A321 that just arrived in here from Denver, Colorado. It will be heading back out to Denver, but you can see the A321neo on flights to places like Denver. It's on the Denver flight, it is also on the Newark flight, but soon will also be on some international routes out of here as well. So it is just making the round trip to Denver here. About to load on passengers and loading on catering right now, we have this United Airlines Boeing 767-300. It had previously arrived on an international flight in from, let's say, London Heathrow International Airport in the UK, and it will be heading out to New York or Newark in New Jersey. This flight to Newark is the only domestic flight out of here that does have wide bodies on it, which is the 767. But you can also find the 757 and A321neo on this flight as well. United has announced all these new long-haul flights. So here are the flights that United has started. London Heathrow will be served with the 767-300 and 787-8. Tokyo Narita will be served by the 787-8 only. And the 767-300 can also be found on the route down to Sao Paulo, Brazil. Parked here at gate 13, we have this Icelandair Boeing 737 MAX 8. It's on the round-trip flight here to Reykjavik International Airport in Iceland. This has been a mainstay for actually a couple months right now. Icelandair has been operating. It previously did operate out of the old international singular gate that we had here in the old A gates, but right now it is now out of the new international customs gates here. And here it is at gate A15, the All Nippon Airlines or ANA Boeing 777-200. It is the largest commercial aircraft that has scheduled flights here. Some larger aircraft might be seen doing a non-scheduled flight or a diversion, but besides that, this is the largest aircraft that will be regularly flying here. All Nippon Airlines only operates one route, and it is on that round trip right now to Tokyo Haneda International Airport. United operates Narita, and ANA will be operating Haneda. They will be operating it with the 787 and 777 aircraft. 777 is kind of only for the summer when demand is highest, though you will be seeing maybe even the 767 from ANA popping up on another route that they might be starting in the future, which we will cover another day. And here at the second wide-body main gate here, we have the Delta Airlines Airbus A330-300. It is not just United operating wide-body flights here now. Delta Airlines has joined the party with their Airbus A330 and Boeing 767 operations here. So some things you might be able to tell. Delta operates probably some of their older wide-bodies here. All the new ones are kind of reserved for their hubs right now. So this Airbus A330 just arrived in from, let's put you at Seoul Incheon Airport in South Korea, after previously arriving in from Paris Charles de Gaulle International Airport in France. Delta will be operating their 767s and older generation A330s on the routes here, as the airport is now a Delta-focused city as well. So you can be seeing routes to London Heathrow, Paris Charles de Gaulle, Seoul, South Korea, and also to a flight down to Sao Paulo in Brazil. So yeah, you will be seeing those routes from Delta, usually going to fellow SkyTeam countries. But also next update, Amsterdam will be started as well, to another big SkyTeam Airport. Just a quick update here. A new air traffic control tower is currently being built right here, as well as the brand new parking garage that got completed. So the airport is getting a new ATC tower, getting rid of the old one over here, which is pretty interesting. I just thought I'd cover that real quick. And pushing back here, we have this UPS Boeing 757-200 freighter. It's currently pushing back for the flight out to Louisville, Kentucky. This is a round trip operated by UPS, and it's UPS's only route out of the airport. However, FedEx does have quite a few more. They use the 757 on this route as well. And speak of the devil here, we have this FedEx Boeing 757-200 freighter currently loading on cargo for the flight out to Memphis, Tennessee after the previous flight in from Anchorage in Alaska. FedEx operates Anchorage and operates flights to Memphis, as well as some other flights to Seattle North. It also operates flights to Reno and also operates flights to Indianapolis in Indiana as well. So this aircraft had just arrived in from Anchorage and will be heading out to Memphis in a little bit once cargo is done being loaded. Moving on to the FedEx Caravan lineup here. We have this FedEx Cessna 208 Caravan. It is currently heading out to Portland, Oregon, after a previous arrival in from Medford, Oregon. This FedEx Cessna Caravan had previously arrived in from Pasco Tri-Cities International Airport in Washington and will be heading out to Redmond Municipal Airport in Oregon as well, which is another airport that I do updates on, which is kind of nice as well. Anyhow, let's move on to our B gates, which had received a nice little expansion too. Though a bit more subtle, the B gates jet bridges have been extended, so now there are jet bridges for gates B1 and B2, which is nice to see. So anyhow, B gates still house all domestic Delta operations and also house Frontier. They no longer house Iceland Air, which they used to. So anyhow, let's get straight into the Delta operations here. Loading on baggage and passengers, we have this Delta Airlines Boeing 737-800 on the flight out to Atlanta International Airport in Georgia. It had previously arrived in on the flight from, again, let's say, arrived in from Seattle-Tacoma International Airport in Washington. Moving on here, we have this Delta Airlines Airbus A320. This aircraft had previously arrived in from Salt Lake City and will be heading out to Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport right now. And ending off the Delta operations right now, which are going to be expanded even further in the future as I grow my Delta model fleet, we have this Delta Airlines CRJ-900. This aircraft is currently heading out to San Francisco International Airport in California after a previous round in from, let's say, Aspen, Colorado. Normally this flight would not be operating during the summer season. However, they will be operating once weekly during the summer season as well. And taxiing right here, we have another Alaska Airlines Boeing 737-900 with a broken wing, tail wing, or no, wing. I don't remember what they were called. Oh no, horizontal stabilizer, sorry. Or is it vertical? Vertical stabilizer, sorry there, everybody. My mind is a little fuzzy today. This aircraft is currently arriving in from Honolulu, Hawaii, after a previous round in from Anchorage, Alaska. Here we have a parked, privately owned Cessna Caravan. It had previously done a flight in from Eureka, California, but is currently inactive and has no future flight planned. Sorry, kind of fell over here. This plane's very tail heavy. But just arrived in here, we have this privately owned Saab 340, though it still is in WestJet colors. The aircraft had previously arrived in from, let's just say, previously arrived in from Spokane, Washington, and there is a flight planned for this private aircraft. It will be heading down to San Jose, California, likely down to Silicon Valley for some private stuff there. Another interesting development here at the FBO. The FBO now has one jet bridge, which is to be accessed for any wide-body charter flights that come into the airport, and some narrow-body flights as well. So yeah, you will be seeing the jet bridge be used for charters, which is pretty interesting. Anyhow, currently offloading passengers right now, we have this Orbis Flying Eye Hospital, McDonnell Douglas MD-10 here. And the aircraft is just arrived in from, let's put him at, just arrived in from Reykjavik International Airport after a previous round in from Paris Charles de Gaulle. This aircraft will be parked here for a while, but then we'll be heading over to Honolulu, Hawaii to go down to Oceania. It's not very important, but I would like to note these two America West 737-200s, which have been parked here for years, well, not parked here for very long, but had recently been flown in. They are retired and will be kind of displayed here like an aircraft museum for now. I might set up more of a dedicated museum later, but they're currently parked here, and their future, whether it be museum or scrapping, is currently unknown. So they're just parked here by the FBO gates, which is kind of nice to see. Anyways, moving back to the complete other side of the airport, back closer to where we started, we have this parked British Airways 757-200. It had not previously arrived in from anywhere. Its last flight was months ago from Reykjavik in Iceland on a shuttle flight from London. So it had not been doing much movement. It is currently just parked here dormant. The future of this aircraft is unknown. It might head to the aircraft museum that I talked about a second ago. It might go to a new airline, or it might just get scrapped. So we do not know the future of this aircraft right now. Anyhow, on to the next aircraft. Offloading passengers by bus here, we have this World Atlantic McDonnell Douglas MD-82. It is currently, again, offloading passengers from the flight round trip out to Tampa Bay in Florida. Alrighty, offloading passengers here, we have this Delta Airlines Boeing 767-400. It is not offloading many people. It's kind of just offloading the crew right now. It had recently been ferried over from the international gate where we saw that Delta Airlines Airbus A330-300. And this aircraft is being parked here till that A330 leaves so it can start its passenger flight as well. So it had previously arrived in from London Heathrow and will be heading out to Paris Charles de Gaulle once it returns to its gate. And the final aircraft of today's airport update here, we have this United Airlines Boeing 787-8. This aircraft is at the focus city here, and it will be on the flight out to Tokyo Narita International Airport. It is just taking off right now, in fact, and its previous flight was the flight out to London Heathrow. So a lot of London services. It's a very high demand route. I would imagine British Airways would probably start serving it probably in the next update or the one after that. And so with that United 787, everybody, that concludes today's very massive Salem-Evergreen International Airport update. A very large update today, I would say. An entire new section of concourse, lots of new stuff, lots of new routes, and finally, wide-body flights at Salem. Who knew that this could be happening, which is crazy. So anyways, everybody, the next update will be pretty jam-packed. I have lots of stuff planned, lots of new models already on the way right now. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but I sure will tell you there are going to be some great models. So that concludes this quite large Salem-Evergreen update. If you enjoyed the video and made it this far, make sure to maybe like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. We are already over halfway to 500 subscribers, and that is my big goal on this channel, is just to hit that, and I am satisfied. So I really hope we do hit that milestone. So it would really make me happy if one of y'all subscribed. And thank you everybody for watching. And I will be seeing you guys in the next update later this week. All right, goodbye.